In what that hasn't been a great week for ex-Manchester United managers, we see Mourinho being sacked from FENERBAHCE following their Champions League playoff exit to Benfica, and it has just come about that he has not been playing better football as part of one of the other reasons for letting him go after just 1 year in charge. That comes on the back of failing to overhaul Galatasaray in the league last season, finishing a good 11 points behind the eventual winners. And this season hasn't gone any better really, although they have got a game in hand over the leaders Galatasaray once again. They have won 2, drawn 1 and lying in 5th position. So yes, you've guessed it, we're going to go over to FENERBAHCE, where we will be taking over from Mourinho and turning them into UCL champions. That's the plan anyway. So we are playing an updated database as found on the sortitoutsi.com website as of this morning of the date of recording, and with that we won't be doing any transfers for the first window as all the transfers have now gone through. It's been a good 11 years then since winning the top flight league, so we want to try and win that back, dominate Turkish football once again, and obviously win that all important UCL title. And it doesn't appear that they've won any European trophies at all, so we've at least got to win them something in that respect as well, but the all important one will be the UCL. The favoured formation, the 4-2-3-1, we'll see what we've got. Nice to see a fair few real faces in the squad as well, with a couple of loan obligations with Edson, Alvarez and Duran coming in. Finances, we will be using the euros in this particular save as opposed to the Turkish lira, as it is probably more easily recognisable and easier to tell how much players are actually worth and understand. So they have got 38 million in the bank balance with 13 transfers, but like I say, because we're using the updated database, we will be disabling the first window because as the transfers have already been done. So there's quite a lot to go now, especially out on loan as well, and a few players going, including Lincoln to Alverca SAD and Osei Samuel to Birmingham for 400,000. But coming in, I'm guessing it's all these dated the 3rd of July, which are the new transfers. I'm guessing Neen, a right winger, reasonably quick actually. We've got Archie Brown from Genk, again another decent player, undisclosed fee. That was 41 million apparently for Edison from Manchester City, the goalkeeper. I thought he went on a free. I might be mistaken. Smedo coming in from Wolves, a right back, so the right and left backs are sorted. We've also got Karim Artukoglu from Galatasaray on a free apparently. A left winger, again decent player. Nice little snatch there from the rivals. Alvarez from West Ham, DM, perfect. And Duran, which we just noticed. They have got the sense of a very, very good side at the moment. And speaking of the side, this is what we have to play with. So if we go by age first, they've only got 8 players, 30 and above, but really one that's 34 years old, a striker. But they have got Edison, obviously the goalkeeper. He'll be here with us for a good few years at least. Anyway, by my reckoning, they have got another goalkeeper who they've gone out on loan, but they are very sparse on quite a few positions here, especially letting out their second choice goalkeeper, which is quite bizarre. If we go to the other end of the table, 20-year-old Demir, a defender DM. He's only 20 years old. Elmaz, 22-year-old, again another DM or midfielder. Got some good stats though. Jaden Oosterwolde, left back, again another one, but I thought we brought one in on loan, maybe, I think it was, or did we bring one in on a free? They got Joseph and Nesri as well, striker, brilliant. That's even better. So maybe we go 2 up front possibly in this formation, or he'll definitely be our striker going forward, at least for the next couple of years, I feel, as we try and overhaul Galatasaray and turn this team into European champions. So the club vision, they want to work within the budget, grow the club's reputation, maximum 1-year contracts for over 33s, 2 for 31s, and maximum 3-year contracts for the age of 29, and minimum 3-year contracts for first teamers. Okay, that's not bad. It's good to know that we can bring in older players as well, so we're not limited, as we need all the help we can get. But other than that, it doesn't say anything about playing better football though, but they do want us to challenge and get into the Champions League as ASAP. Staffing looks pretty decent actually. I'm quite happy with that. We don't need to do anything more than that. Have we got a set piece coach? We have. Good stuff. Club info, we're going to try and grow that. 225 million euros is what their estimated worth is. Improved some of these facilities. We'll see how much they've grown over the rebuild as well. And somehow reduce this debt down, because they're in one hell of a lot of debt. Unless that's pretty normal in Turkey, I don't know. So first things first is to sort out formation, get this pre-season underway, and then we'll be straight back. So with the formation sorted out, we are playing a 4-2-3-1, but with a midfielder and a DM. And that's because Fred, really, he comes into the best 11 and we're having him as a midfielder. I don't want him anywhere near that back line. Although he has had a pretty good start so far with a goal already to his name. Our only weakness is our left back, but hopefully Oosterwolde will do the job for us. He has got a bit of potential and he's reasonably quick. Physicals look really good. We've got Nesri up front, Karim on the left wing, Asensio on the right hand side, Talisca in the cam position, Skriniar comes into the defence with Semedo on the right hand side, and Edison obviously in goal. And I'm not sure why it's picking Diego Carlos, because he's not available. He's actually currently on loan at Como. So far the results have gone okay. We have qualified for the Champions League proper though. That is something that Mourinho hasn't managed to do. We beat Ajax in one of the rounds, 5-0 over the two legs, and Nice 4-3 thanks to a 3-1 victory and an 84th minute winner by Uzek in the second leg. The league, however, we have got off to a great start, only losing the one game, and that was to Besiktas. So currently we are lying in 4th position, 3 points off the leaders Besiktas because of that win they beat us over, and we're level on points with Galatasaray. So as long as we can finish above Galatasaray, we should go on and win the league, fingers crossed. The Champions League, we have got Liverpool, Atletico and Feyenoord in the group stage before they changed it in actual game. We did win a friendly cup though as well, so that's nice. So we have got a trophy on the board already. We've got Galatasaray in the Turkish Super Cup in the semi-final, and we go in at the 5th round in the Turkish Cup as well. The season preview, second 5-4, just behind Galatasaray, and we have got a fair few players in the Dream 11, which is quite nice as well, including Edison, the goalkeeper. So we're doing pretty well on that front. So let's jump into our first season and let's see if we can do what Mourinho failed to do. So what looks like a very, very good schedule as we dominate the league with a lot of wins in there, a 4-2 victory, lots of 2-0s, a 5-2 victory there, a 4-3 over Rizespor. Galatasaray, did we play them at some point? I'm sure we did. Oh, we drew 1-1, and we drew 1-1 up there as well. So home and away, good draws. We didn't lose, which is a good thing. Some more 4-0s, especially in January. We roll out a lot of wins in February and March, including a 2-0 over Besiktas, a 7-3 over Fatih though towards the end of March, and then we lose our next couple of games, especially the last one as well, Besiktas here as well. Quite unfortunate, we could have gone a whole season unbeaten, only losing then games by the odd goal as well. As indeed we do finish top of the table, so we claim our rightful place at the top. So it has been some time since we last won it. Back in 2013-14 was the last time we won the league. Quite some time away, and we've finally done it in our first time of asking. Nesri gets 21 goals. Tammy Abraham of Besiktas, 27 goals for winning the Golden Boot. Osman's playing for Galatasaray as well. Amazing stuff. Semedo 14 assists. Our goalkeeper Edison, which probably has made the difference actually, 17 clean sheets. As we score 90 goals and concede 25. Still one more than Galatasaray. I mean, that's just insane. We made a go of it towards the end of the season with 5 straight wins. We do win the Turkish Cup final, however, 3-0 with 3 goals coming all after 90 minutes. And we play Samsunspor again in the final, this time in the Super Cup, with netting all 4 goals in a 4-0 victory, all before the 90 minutes is up. The group stage of the Champions League, we finished top of our group, 6 for 6, with the likes of Liverpool, Atletico and Feyenoord. So we beat Liverpool 3-1 and 2-1, Feyenoord 3-1 and 3-2, and Atletico, wow, 4-1 and 3-0. 18 goals scored, 6 against. That is pretty good in a hard group there. I did expect us to finish bottom, but that's amazing. So the round of 16 we played Dortmund, and in the first leg we came away with a 3-2 loss with an 87th minute second goal which put the tie in the balance. But a winner on the 79th minute ensured a 2-0 victory on the night, a 4-3 win on aggregate, progressing us to the next round. But despite a goal from a free kick, it wasn't enough for the first leg against Newcastle, 4-1 losing. And a win in the second leg just wasn't enough to carry it on to the next round as we lose 4-2 overall. So a loss in the quarterfinals in the Champions League, that's pretty decent. It's a good basis to go on, as well as we claim a domestic treble as well as this friendly cup. So 4 trophies this year. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. And a quarterfinal position in the Champions League as well, which I'm really, really chuffed with. We do have somewhat to build on that. And what a cracking side we have got. It all depends now whether we can keep majority of the players and just improve each season to try and win that coveted trophy. Our squad, however, if we go by goals, quite a lot of goals throughout the team actually. We got 32 and 3 for Nesri as well. He's now 29 years old. We've got him for another few years as well, so that's pretty good. Marco Asensio, he's now 30, 18 and 20. We'll grab hold of him for the next couple of seasons as well. Talisca as well, he's now 32, 18 and 4. We may have to look for another cam player as he's dropping off a little bit. Sebastian Szymanski, 16 and 11, not bad either. Kareem, 16 and 15, wow. Skriniar, 11 goals and 2 assists. That's amazing. Fred, well, who would have thought 18 assists at the age of 33 with 8 goals? That is a superb performance from the Brazilian. We also 17 assists here for Semedo, who's now 32. So some of these players are going to have to be replaced at some point, but I'm not looking at changing them just yet, depending on what's around. And Edison in goal, that's the reason why we won 27 clean sheets, 47 conceded in 56 games. There's a reason why we won everything virtually. Our average age is 28, so it would be nice to bring that down, but our ultimate goal is to win the UCL, and we'll do that by any means possible. So going into next season, goodness me, 96 million euros to spend in the transfer market. That could be a few replacements like the cam player I was talking about, maybe a backup striker possibly, although Neen did score 4 goals in a game as well. And we've got quite a fair bit on the wages as well actually, probably about 150,000 as well. So that's going to come pretty handy also. So pretty much a busy window. We've let go of 43 million euros worth of players, including a lot of foreign players, as we have a quota of only allowing 10 signatures in your squad out of 28. We had to offload an awful lot because there seemed to be about 3/4 of the squad being foreign players. So yeah, we've had to reduce that out, make a lot of sacrifices. But we did bring in some very good players. But as you can see, 121 million spent, 43 out the door. First one was a Bikau to Saudi Arabia for 13 million. We also Livakovic, Ustavold, Carlos, Seten as well, Nene, and quite a few other players, and also some being released on free as well. So that did allow us to bring in some other players. Edson Alvarez, we opted to buy him at 22 million. That was his optional fee. Really good season last season. We also from Brighton, £36 million. We bring in Ferdi to come in as our left back option. He can also play on right back because he looks really good at 26 years old, and he's Turkish as well, so it does fill out our quota. We also bring in Velasco from Boca Juniors, 13 million. He's going to be our left winger. Sebastian Caceres from America, he comes in as a centre back, 10 million. 12 million from Juventus. We bring in Yildiz, another striker or cam player option. From Alanspor, 3.5 million. Yusuf Özdemir. We had to bring in a lot of more Turkish players in, homegrown players. So yeah, another good option here as well as left back, only going to be as a backup as we lost our left backs in the transfers. Also from Dortmund, 13 million. Özcan to be our DM or midfield replacement for Fred, more than likely. Univar, 5 million from FC20, youngster, can play on the left hand side as well. A lot of growing needs to be done on him. And at Yildirim as well from Rennes for 6.25 million. a striker option backup. Yeah, we've done a lot of business this season just to try and level out the squad at least anyway, and register everybody, and those we couldn't register we've gone out on loan. So we've locked in a few players, some of the players that we've signed in, and if we pick our best 11, some of them players that do move out, but it is a very good side nonetheless, and as you can see we've had a very, very good time of it. We started our league campaign with 3-0, 5-0 against some of the lesser teams, 3-0 against Besiktas, which was a big result, and then a 1-1 draw. The Champions League, which we are now straight into the league phase, we've got Marseille, Antwerp, Porto, Bayern Munich, Red Star Belgrade, Bodo Glimt, AZ and Man City. Now, I'm reckoning we can go out of this group stage at least anyway. We are lying top of the table, which is nice. 10 points. We are ahead of Galatasaray on goal difference by some way, actually. And we're around about 20th in the league phase of the Champions League, which is fantastic. And the season preview, boom, gets us predicted top of the table. 8-15 favourites to win. Almost dominating that Dream 11 once again. So let's jump into our second season and let's see if we can get any further into the Champions League and also retain our titles. Once again, we conduct ourselves in the league pretty well as we lose 4 games in a span of 2 months, November and December, which put a derail on plans for the time being. But other than that, we've got some very, very good scores. We did have a 4-0 and 6-1 amongst all them losses, including again Besiktas being battered 4-0. Galatasaray we beat 4-0 as well, which is fantastic results for us. We do continue to score a lot of goals and finishing quite strong as well. And once again we lift the title, this time by 3 points from Galatasaray, who lost 3 games, twice to us, and twice we scored 4 goals against them. Besiktas are falling way behind, 14 points in the end, and Asensio and Nesri get the highest average ratings, and Asensio gets the golden boot for this season, with Nesri not far behind him. In fact, just 1 goal behind him. Wow. And Edison, again, 15 clean sheets this time around. There was a lot of interest for him last season, last window. I don't know how long we're going to hold off keeping him, really, to be fair. But other than that, we do dominate. That is 2 titles now on the bounce after not seeing one for about 11 years. The Champions League, we finished in 16th position, quite far down than I probably expected. 4 wins, however. AZ, Red Star, actually hammering Red Star. And we beat Bayern Munich 1-0 as well, which is a fantastic result, and a win over Antwerp. We drew with Bodo Glimt and lost to Man City, Porto and Marseille. Nobody finished unbeaten in the league phase, which is a first, I think, as well. Once again, we played Dortmund in the knockout round. We beat them 1-0 in the first leg away from home, which is fantastic. And the Nesri hat-trick sees them off in the second leg at home, 4-1, winning the tie 5-1, sending us to the round of 16. Where we played AC Milan and we lost our home tie in the first leg, despite getting a goal back towards the end, but it just wasn't enough. And the Szymanski equaliser just isn't enough in the second leg. We bow out of the competition in the round of 16, 3-2 overall. But we do win the Super Cup 3-1 against Galatasaray, and we batter Bursaspor in the Turkish Cup final 5-2, giving us our domestic treble. So once again the treble has been won, but not much further in the Champions League, unfortunately. However, we did make a lot of changes this season, so that's still quite a good showing, and the fact that we won the treble again means it's business as usual. Squad wise, however, 43 goals from Nesri. We've got 38 and 25 from Marco Asensio. He's going to be pretty hard to replace, it has to be said. 17 and 16 for Yildiz, which is brilliant. 16 and 16 for Velasco as well. Fantastic from the 2 youngsters that we brought in. 16 assists there for Fred. He's done quite well. It may be at this point that we may look to cash him. He's now 34 years old. 11 assists there for Ferdi Kadlioglu as well. Caceres, not bad in defence, 3 and 3. Skriniar, however, only scored 5 goals this season. And Edison at 33 now, 51 conceded in 54 with 20 clean sheets. That's still quite remarkable. And we've been given another hefty sum in the sum of 69 million euros to go and spend in the summer. So before we go on to this summer's transfers, I may have made a mistake in the last season where I thought the quota was for 10 foreign players in the side. In actual fact, it's 14. It's only a maximum of 10 over 23. So I could have had an additional 4 players under 23 years old. So I made a massive mistake last season. So moving on to the outs first. 52 million going out. If we put them in numerical order, Edison has left for Juventus for up to 23.5 million. Amrabat has also gone to Saudi Arabia for 15. We lose Archie Brown to Cologne for 2.9. Semedo's gone for 2.6. We also lose Talisca. Fred's also gone 1.4 to Saudi Arabia. We should have cashed in on him in last season, where his value was much higher. So yeah, another mistake there, but I don't regret it, because we could have won the Champions League last season, and unfortunately we didn't get very far. A couple of other players leaving on a free as well, fringe players, and quite a few players on loan. So 52 million added to the budget, contracts renewed. We spent a whopping 132 million. First one, 22-year-old Restes to play in goal. Another superb goalkeeper, young one at that as well. So he'll definitely be here for the rest of the rebuild, unless somebody decides to take him off us and he wants to leave. So with any luck, he'll develop very quickly. From Chelsea for 32 million, we bring on Yaral Hato. 21 years old, he's going to be our left back for this season. From Manchester City for 29 million, we've signed Naipan. Now, I have signed him in previous rebuilds and he has developed that quickly. However, we are going to be locking him in for this season and probably a couple of seasons. I want to see him develop. He has got high potential, so we're going to be using him at this time round. So, I mean, he can also play in camp position, but his favoured is in midfield. From Villarreal for 42 million, we're bringing a camp player, Alberto Malario, 23 years old. So you can see a theme here, 23 and under. That's what we are planning here for non-Turkish players. However, he looks pretty good as well, and he's developing quite nicely already. And finally, for Cologne, we bring in a homegrown player, Kenk Özkakar. I do apologise for butchering it. He's going to be our backup centre-back for this season as well. So we are locking a few players in, like Hato, Naipan, Malero, and up front we have Yildiz. Nesri can play up there, but he's into his 30s now. I want Nesri as a backup, really, just in case Yildiz doesn't work out. However, there's no reason why he can. But he can also play in camp position, but we have got Malaria in there instead. So we're on our way to replacing all the older players and having a team that can last for a good few years. We have got off to a flyer in the league with a 10-0 victory over Basakcia, which is a phenomenal result. Yildiz with a brace, as well as Asensio as well. But we do carry on with the scoring goals. 3-0, 7-2 win there, a 2-0 win there, and then we win our first game in the Champions League against Sporting 2-0. Which is a great start. The rest of the Champions League, we've got Manchester City, Barcelona, Real Sociedad, we've got Marseille, Juventus, Copenhagen and Ludogorets. Well, we're off to a flyer. If we can get some points out of these as well, then there's no reason why we can't go far in the competition. We are lying top of the table, however, in the league, 4 for 4. We've got Galatasaray hot on our heels, but not scoring as many goals. We've got plus 20 already. I mean, that is insane, thanks to them. 17 goals against 2 teams. I mean, that's just mad. Currently lying 4th in the Champions League table, ahead of some of the bigger teams, but we know that can all change very quickly. So let's jump into our 3rd season and let's see if we can continue the good work in the Champions League. This season pretty much went the same as last season, wins straight across the board. We do lose in November and a draw, so we do drop points despite a win later on in the month, and we continue winning straight afterwards. So just a little bit of a blip in November, scoring loads of goals, a 6-0, a 7-0. Teams just do not know how to cope with us, and then towards the end of the season, come February time, we lose a couple of games on the bounce. Not sure if we had a couple of injuries or suspensions or anything like that, but games that we are expected to win, especially at this stage. We go back to winning ways 5-1, 3-0, and we do finish strongly, giving us the league title once again. That's 3 seasons on the bounce now, which is what we are all expecting. Just the 4 losses and an incredible 28 victories from 34, which is amazing. And we finished 14 points clear of Galatasaray, who just seem to struggle against this new regime here at Fenerbahce. However, in the Super Cup, we smash Besiktas in the final, winning this 5-2, pretty much at a walking pace. But we do get knocked out the semi-final stage in the Turkish Cup, however, losing to Galatasaray on penalties after a 1-1 draw over 2 legs. The league phase in the Champions League, we finish in 5th position. Wow, 5 wins. Ludogorets, Copenhagen, Marseille, we smashed 7-1. Sociedad we beat, and Sporting, as we saw earlier, we drew with Juventus and Barcelona, and the only loss we had was Manchester City. And this season it's Fiorentina, surprisingly of all teams, finished the league phase unbeaten. So in the knockout round we played somebody different this time round. It's AC Milan, and we had come away with a 2-1 victory in the first leg away from home, and Velasco finishes the tie off in convincing fashion, winning 5-1 over the 2 legs, 3-0 on the night. And a Szymanski goal in the 94th minute sees us beat Liverpool in the first leg at home in the quarter-finals, 1-0. Which, heading over to Anfield, despite a late surge by Liverpool, we were 3-0 up in this tie in the end, but 2 late goals making it pretty much uncomfortable. But we head on into the semi-finals for the first time in this rebuild, where we played Barcelona in the first leg, losing 2-1 despite taking the lead in the 39th minute, but we're still in the tie. But a goal by Araujo in the 53rd minute sees any doubt that Barcelona head to the final. So a 3-1 loss to Barcelona over the 2 legs, which I'm quite pleased with. However, we're so close, taking the tie to our home ground and unfortunately not being able to score and lose the tie 1-0 on the night. Not what we're looking for, but progress is being made, and despite losing the Turkish Cup in the semi-finals, we still win a domestic double. Our squad, however, 34 goals in for Yildiz, which isn't too bad actually. Asensio weighs in with 33 and 21. That's 54 goal contributions from the 32-year-old. We've got to keep him. We have to keep him again, because I think he's key to us winning this Champions League. Malera as well, the Spaniard, 21 and 20, 41 goal contributions. That's fantastic in his first season as cam in the side. 18-11 for Velasco. Our forward line is doing superb, so there's no need to change anything there. Naipan did pretty well actually, 10 and 10. Not bad at all. Still got loads of potential, and he looks like he has grown as well. 10 assists there for Univar. Nice to see him getting some game time also. 10 for Hato assists, that is. Not sure whether he's more suited to centre-back rather than left-back, but that's where he played this season, and he's done all right. 41 goals conceded, though, by Restes, which is fantastic, with 24 clean sheets. That's phenomenal. So next season we go again, and we've been given not as much as previous seasons, but 49 million all the same, which should help us strengthen our side by a couple of more players. So not as busy window this time around. 15 million go out in the form of Ortakaya, Setin, we've got Kagler and Szymanski as well, all leaving for up to 15 million. It does enable us to extend the budget a little bit and bring in these 3 players. The first one from Hoffenheim for 24 million. We bring in Ozan Kabak, Turkish centre-back. Again, another backup, as there don't seem to be many Turkish players out there really that we could use to improve the side. And as a backup, I think he'll be pretty good if anything should happen to our 30-plus-year-old Skriniar. We also bring in Victor Murillo from Chivas for 30 million. Striker to go alongside our Turkish striker as well. And also Nesri. But I think we're going to be locking this young lad in. He's only 22 years old. Bags of potential and very, very physical as well. And he can finish. That's fantastic. And dribble at the same time. So I'm surprised and he's not actually a cam player, actually, to be fair. And the last of all, from Liverpool for 30 million, we'll bring in Nathan De Cat, a defensive midfielder. He can play at the back and he can play in midfield as well. So quite handy to have around. So we are changing the formation up a little bit. We decided to go more attacking at this time around. We have opted for a midfielder and a DM as well as cam players and 2 forwards this time, because we are in abundance of some pretty good strikers and I do want to utilise them. If we pick our best 11, Nesri comes in alongside Yildiz and Asensio, Morello, cam players. Naipan comes in, Alvarez. It's a pretty solid side whichever way you look at it, and I think we can do pretty good as well. As much as our wingers were very, very helpful, we just need to change it up a little bit. If anything, we can always go back to it next season if it doesn't work out. Only weakness is this left-hand side. Hato's doing an alright job, but we can't find anybody decent enough to come in and fill that spot. Maybe next season we go all in on one player. It hasn't all been plain sailing. However, in the league, we have won all our games convincingly. The Champions League, we did get off to a good start with a 1-0 victory over Dortmund, and then we got absolutely pummeled by Liverpool 4-1. We're still yet to play Napoli, Slavia Prague, Villarreal, Juventus, Frankfurt and Anderlecht. We are top of the table, 5 for 5, with Galatasaray just behind us. We haven't scored as many goals this time around, which is quite surprising considering our forward line. And at the minute in the Champions League, we are lying 22nd because of that loss to Liverpool, who are obviously top of the table. So let's jump into our 4th season now, and let's see if we can go that one step further and get ourselves into a Champions League final. And once again, it looks like we've had a very, very good season once again, at least in the league anyway, with quite a few big scores, a lot of green in there, not many dropped points at all. Trabzonspor, we beat 5-1, 6-0 there. We have a couple of 4s. We drew with Galatasaray 0-0, and we beat Galatasaray 4-2 towards the end of the season, a 5-2 there, 6-0 there. Scored a lot of goals. The only loss that we were inflicted were against Samsunspor, and we win our 4th title on the bounce with just losing 1 game in total with a goal difference of 73. And just out of curiosity, 104 goals scored, 31 against, which is absolutely fantastic. The Turkish Super Cup, we get knocked out by Galatasaray on penalties, so we don't progress to the final of that one. But Galatasaray do, and they lose. So Samsunspor win that one. But we do get to the final of the Turkish Cup, winning this one 5-1 against Rizespor in a one-sided game. The Champions League, we finished in 14th position, 5 wins, Anderlecht, Juve, Villarreal, Slavia Prague and Dortmund, losing 3 games to Frankfurt, Napoli and Liverpool. We got hammered by Liverpool in that. That was the second game actually, wasn't it? We do finish with a plus goal difference, which is always good, and 1 point off finishing in the top 8. So we progress to the knockout rounds, where Murillo scores 2 goals in a 2-2 first leg draw with Valencia, as a late George equaliser from Valencia in extra time sends it to penalties, of which we win 4-2. We played Atletico in the round of 16, where we take a 2-0 lead in the first leg at home. But despite losing the second leg 3-2, we still progress 4-3 over the 2 legs. But a Malero goal in the 85th minute sees us beat Manchester City at home 2-1 in the first leg. And a goal from Skriniar, which puts us 1-0 upon that night before Haaland equalises, sending us through to the semi-finals, 3-2 winners. But a Naipan goal in the 57th minute sees us past Chelsea 1-0 in the first leg, where we score another goal to win 2-0 on the night, sending us to the Champions League final, finally. Come on the boys. Where we played Bayern Munich, with us taking the lead earlier on in this very tough final of all the teams to play, Bayern Munich being one of the stronger ones. However, we did beat them all. We race into a 2-0 lead at the half hour before Bayern Munich get a consolation goal in 71 minutes. And we have finally won the Champions League, a well-deserved Fenerbahce side that have come a long way with a lot of older players, and it's nice to see Asensio and co lifting that coveted trophy. And we have finally done it, folks. We've got another treble. We don't win the Turkish Super Cup, however, but we win the league, the Turkish Cup, and of course the Champions League, which was the aim of this rebuild. A fantastic effort from the lads, as we had a very good season, winning that by 11 points in the league, smashing the Turkish Cup final 5-1, I think it was, and then of course beating Bayern in the Champions League final. And our squad, 34 goals then for Murillo, with 12 assists, 33 for Asensio and 11, still pulling out them figures at his age. 33 years old now, absolutely fantastic effort from him as well. I'm awfully glad we kept him in, but he will need replacing at some point. Yildiz as well gets 22 and 15, 19 and 22 for Morello as well, 14 and 17 for Naipan, a fantastic effort from him in midfield. Nesri as well gets some game time, 53 off the bench with 10 goals and 4. So we have 6 players on 10 goals or more, and 5 of them with 30 plus goal contributions or more. That is a phenomenal effort, and it's no surprise then we went and took the Champions League by storm in the end. 53 goals then conceded by Reses, another phenomenal effort from the youngster. He's only 24. Everybody gets some game time apart from Moore. And as before, this game save will be available to you on Ko-fi.com. I'll leave the link down in the description for you if you so wish, where you can play around with the formation or have a look around yourself, have a look at the team that we got, look at the stats. Or if you want to carry the game on with Fenerbahce, see if you can go on and dominate Europe some more. And you will be given 81 million euros to spend at your leisure as well. So that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much for watching. Fenerbahce have finally won the Champions League. It's only taken us 4 seasons actually. I did think it would take us a lot longer than that, but with the help of Asensio, Nesri and probably Skriniar as well, which is a phenomenal effort from the lads, being the more senior players of course. We could have offloaded them a lot earlier, but I'm awfully glad we didn't, and very pleased for them and the rest of the lads as well actually, which we have built quite a good side. So if you did enjoy that, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you again on the next rebuild. Thank you.